Hey lunatics, this reading is for anyone who identifies as or finds themselves terribly interested in a Sagittarian energy during November 2018. I know we are a little bit behind Sagittarius, but it looks like it's okay that I'm running late, not only because I hope that these messages are right on time for many of you, but also because it looks like you're already listening to your intuition at this time. You must feel very tuned in with what's going on in your inner world, with what your higher self is telling you, because you are showing up as the High Priestess. Also an indication that some of you may be keeping some secrets, keeping some things close to your chest at this time, which is never a bad thing, right? Well, in this instance, I certainly don't think that it is. The cards are talking to you. Now, while you are very in tune with your intuition at this time, while planetary activity is probably helping you along with that, Jupiter just moved into Sagittarius today. And what else do we have happening in Sagittarius? We've also got Mercury retrograding on the 16th into Sagittarius, and a lot of other planetary activity that I might like to mention if we have time. I am not an astrologer. I am, and slowly but surely, learning. Sorry, I don't know why I feel so fussy. But we will try to touch on those things to see what connections we can make, astrologically speaking, as well. In your subconscious, you have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Sagittarius. So I see that you're very in tune with your intuition. Yes, you're listening to your higher consciousness. But subconsciously, something's making you feel anxious. Maybe you do feel like you have to keep these things close to your chest, keep some secrets. Maybe what you're listening to from your intuition is the fact that you should keep some things close to the chest at this time. And it's making you feel a little bit anxious, I think, with the Queen of Pentacles coming up in reverse. Insecure in some sense, maybe even just in a material sense. And someone is not being honest. Someone's not being completely forthright currently. Now, that could be an energy outside of yourself, or it could be referring to you. The secrets, the keeping things close to your chest, with the High Priestess card showing up representing you. And that's an energy that is an obstacle for you. I'm almost getting this sense that things are out of alignment for you in terms of what's going on mentally and what's going on in the material world. Maybe your resources aren't actually correct the way you want them to be right now, and your mind is buzzing about that. But your material world and your mental world being out of alignment, neither of those things mean that you're out of touch with your intuition. You can allow your intuition to guide you at times like that. And it looks like that's what a lot of Sagittarians are doing right now. And I sort of almost want to congratulate you on that. I mean, to be able to lean back on that and to say, I'm confused and I feel insecure, but I know I can just rely on my intuition. That's beautiful, for lack of a better word. Now, it may be it may be a Libra energy who's not being honest with you, because I see Libra, the Justice card, showing up as your weakness at this time. Now, certainly, I don't think that what the Justice card represents in general is your weakness, the precise and impartial truth cutting away the untrue. But that could be possible. It could be that this energy's, what this card represents, the energy it represents in general, is your weakness. It can be that because you are keeping things close to the chest, because you might be keeping some secrets at this time, that's a weakness. That the precise and impartial truth is coming to the surface, will come to the surface. 3 things not long hidden, right? The sun, the moon, and the truth. So it could very well be that that's your weakness, and that's one storyline, whereas the other one is, like I said, a Libra is the weakness for many other Sagittarians, and that connection, your energy being focused there could just be making you mentally unclear, or it could be that they're just not being completely honest with you. And honestly, that message is coming through stronger for me here. Whereas what's supporting you is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So your subconscious mind has the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and now we've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse as what's supporting you. It's actually benefiting you that material security and a message of material security is not coming through in November 2018. It could very well be that that is what is putting you in touch with your intuition. Sometimes we have to rely on those things when we have nowhere else to turn. Maybe you were expecting a certain amount of resources or some type of security in your life, and because it's not showing up, because you don't have it, you have no choice but then to rely on your intuition. And I'm also I also see as a strength of yours, the Empress card in reverse also has me hesitating. Lack of divine feminine energy, or lacking a particular divine feminine energy. An ill or sad mother, someone being infertile. I think it's the sad or ill mother, Sagittarians. I really feel like I'm talking to Sagittarians who have dealt with, in their past, in their life, a sad and or ill divine feminine energy. Maybe it was your actual mother or a motherly figure, and that is providing you with what you need to handle your current situation. So as an example, what I've seen so far on the table, it's like some of you are dealing with possibly a Libran energy who's not being completely forthright with you, whose mental realm is confused and or confusing yours, but you're prepared to handle this type of energy, this type of person, the type of situation they're bringing to you, because you've dealt with your mother, your grandmother, a past divine feminine partner, being the same way, introducing the same type of complications and issues into your life and your relationship with them, right? That's again what I feel coming through most strongly. Now, in spite of your best efforts, Sagittarians, I do see some heartbreak in the near future. I have to read the cards as they come out, and we've got the Three of Swords energy in the near future. Now, I will say This is just the path that you are on right now. What's coming out for me is the path you're on now. Free will, yours, someone else's, just deciding to put yourself on a different path. It can change any of these things. And I do want to grab a couple pieces of advice for you as well. I'm so sorry you can't see the cards. I wish you could. Now, in the distant future, since we're already at the 8th, the 9th right now, maybe by the end of November, but more likely moving into December. That's what I mean when I say the distant future. We do have you freeing yourself from limiting beliefs, giving up a victim mentality if you had been entertaining one previously, maybe moving through this month at all. You may be restricted by your limiting beliefs about this energy that you're dealing with that's not being completely honest with you, or maybe you have reason to believe, like I said, with the High Priestess showing up representing you, you may have reason to believe that you can't share certain things, and by the end of the month or the beginning of next, you're realizing, yes, indeed, I can open up about these things to someone. Let's go ahead and see what comes out for you in terms of advice. And then if we need any clarifiers, we will. I think I definitely want a clarifier on that Queen of Pentacles in reverse there. Yeah, it's as if you were just... It's as if again, your material world, your resources, probably your finances, most likely for most of you, is what's making you feel insecure at this time, are not quite balanced. You don't have as much as you want, as much as you need. You're probably hoping for a message of security to come in that just isn't, but it's like listening to your intuition has led you down this path that's probably offering you many other things, but not the financial benefits that you're looking for, Sagittarians. And in spite of the fact that your resources, your money, your security is not quite where you want it to be, your material world is not quite balanced, I guess, the advice for the near future is to go ahead and take a break. And I do feel like this piece of advice is related to the near future, so I think it's in terms of this heartbreak. Whatever this heartbreak is, it might be related to this Libra for some of you who's not being honest, but this may be related for others to that security that's not coming in, that message of security you're hoping for that's not coming in. And your advice is just to... Your advice is to go ahead and take a break when you need it. Take a break as that energy comes through, because the only way out is through when we see the Three of Swords. That's the type of heartbreak, the type of pain that is going to open you up, shatter another bit of your ego, and those cracks are going to let authentic parts of you shine through. And in order to move through that heartbreak rather than avoid it and put that off, putting that work off means finding those authentic parts of you off, right? So instead of putting it off and in order to move through it instead, the advice is to go ahead and take a time out, take a break, let yourself rest. With the Ten of Wands in reverse there, it's often that you need a break. Temperance on the bottom of the deck now. That's your energy. That is a Sagittarian card. It's also blending of opposites, showing poise, represents an alchemist, of sorts as she blends those opposite energies there. It speaks to forgiveness of yourself, or this other energy may very well be required in order for you to move through this situation. The other piece of advice is the Five of Cups, which is a card of mourning, of regret. Although in the Deviant Moon Tarot that we're using here, and I will have information about all of the decks in the description of the video, in the Deviant Moon Tarot you see that these characters don't look very regretful. One is still angry and screaming, the other has this snicker on his face as though he's sort of glad he knocked these cups over, right? And I always notice the rose there as well, which in my mind implies that this is sort of a performance on both of their parts. He's acting ornery, and she's acting angry, but I think they both are regretful, and may be more regretful still. So you may want to pay attention to that as a piece of advice. You see, she's so angry that she may cost them the other two cups in this particular depiction of the Five of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, the Five of Cups. But also, just in general, yes, be careful not to end up losing more than you have to if you've already lost, as far as your anger and your temper costing you even more, causing even more regret. But also, together, these two cards as advice are saying, you know, take a break and take time for mourning. For some of you, not all of you, Sagittarians, this heartbreak is an inevitable. That's not the word I want to use, but for some of you it must be. For some of you it's an inevitable loss. For some of you it's an unavoidable loss. For some of you, though, it's what I mean to say is it's just such a deep heartbreak, and possibly is related to another person, that it's a loss that requires you to take a break and allow time for mourning. And that's November and December, as I said, moving into December 2018. Let's very quickly grab some clarifiers for you. Like I said, that Queen of Pentacles, I'd like to know. We've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. So the King of Swords in reverse, and then the Ace of Swords in reverse. You're definitely dealing with some falsities, some mistruths, some lies this month. Now, again, I don't know if it's your own or an energy outside of yourself. But that seems to be what is leaving you feeling insecure and anxious in your subconscious, Sagittarians, is someone's lie. For those of you who are keeping things close to the chest, keeping secrets for yourself or someone else, since you're showing up as the High Priestess, and again, it may be your intuition that is advising you to do so, I want to say to you, and I've said this before in a couple of videos, but I'll say it again, you do not owe everyone your truth. If you are keeping things close to the chest because you believe that's what's best at this time, or keeping secrets for someone else because you think it's the right thing to do, and then you're turning around and allowing it, even subconsciously, to make you feel, like I said, anxious and insecure because you're telling lies, just keep in mind that you do not owe everyone your whole truth. It feels good to be honest. It feels good to be real and authentic and genuine, but we reach times in our lives where we need to remember those words. It's Mark Twain. It's a Mark Twain quote where we have to connect with that truth, that we don't always owe everyone our whole truth. So for those of you who are feeling insecure about your own mistruths, do keep that in mind. Now, of course, you know if you're lying to someone close to you who deserves the truth that you're keeping from them, that's a different story. And you know that if you are. And in that case, it does look like, again, as I said, that it's going to result in some heartbreak. that is going to require a break, taking time to mourn. But ultimately, I love seeing the Eight of Swords in reverse as the outcome of the situation, freeing yourself from limiting beliefs, freeing yourself from a prison you'd created for yourself mentally, and again, it could be that you believe you can't share things that you come to realize that you can. And overall, for it to be the Temperance card, if you're the one who requires forgiveness in this situation, it looks like that's what this month in general is about, is finding that for yourself or someone else, or from someone else, if it's you that's in need of that. If it's an energy outside of yourself, particularly, specifically, a Libra energy who you feel like is a weakness for you, then it may be only subconsciously that you're realizing that there is a lie afoot, and you have to rely on your intuition to tell you that, to inform you of that. And that may very well be what you're doing, showing up as the High Priestess. So, very quickly, I just keep saying quickly, but very quickly, I also want a Dreams of Gaia card for you. I'm going to use the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck, sort of like an oracle deck right now. It's got 81 cards in it, so it's just a slightly different. It's just got beautiful descriptions. It's got a beautiful guidebook with it. Beautiful illustrations, a beautiful picture. This is such a wise author who wrote this book, and she wrote it for her children. I believe is what the dedication says. So we're going to read straight out of the guidebook to give you one final piece of advice, is what I'm thinking, but it may sort of wrap everything up for us. One of my favorite cards. And it goes right in line with the High Priestess, the Seven of, I believe it is, fire. And she looks like she's about to use her intuition to divine. She looks like a mystic herself, and I think that's how she's described. Let me grab this book real quick, and I will, and I'll read this for you. I do want to show you the bottom of this deck with integrity here. A reminder of how valuable your integrity is if it's you that is lying to someone that you shouldn't be. Okay, so I want both messages to be out there. If it's not a truth that deep in your heart you feel like you have to share, then that's your business. If it's a wrong you're doing to someone, we have this reminder here that of how important and valuable your integrity is to you. Now, there's also this dual message for people who are accepting falsities from someone else. That damages our integrity as well. If subconsciously, if on any level we realize that they're lying to us and we're not holding them accountable for that, that damages our integrity as well. That affects our integrity too. That's part of our integrity, is not accepting falsities. And I don't want to say demanding, but only accepting honest interactions. Let me grab this book really quickly. Okay, so one last piece of wisdom. I just found a little note in the front of the Dreams of Gaia tarot book that I made for myself. It says, don't, just advice to myself about these readings for you. Don't try to have an answer. And I don't read like that. I don't try to fill in the blanks with guesses when I'm not sure. I try to allow the precise and impartial truth, the things that my clair senses are telling me for sure, to cut away any doubt or the untrue. But also, I've reminded myself here in this note, sometimes we don't understand what the cards are saying until later. So the fact that I just saw that for you right now, for us as I'm reading, I feel like that's relevant. So some of what I'm saying might be something to check back in with toward the end of the month. And again, even the beginning of next. So we're looking for fire, fire, fire. The Seven of Fire, yes. And I'll let you look at this card while I read some of what this brilliant guidebook has to say about it. Personal divination, as I said, yes. Signs, personal interpretation is crucial, it reminds us. Heeding your intuition, crazy, that this shows up as the card, the piece of wisdom that we want from our extra deck here, and the High Priestess representing intuition in general is what's covering you this month. So definitely I have to say intuition is paramount. Looking within, seeking answers, a feeling of recognition. So what we'll say is the Seven of Fire represents the development and uses of one's intuition to see the way forward and predict possible outcomes. Yes, so there, I'll interrupt here. There are many paths in front of you always, and all of these paths that any of these readers, me or otherwise, myself or otherwise, lay out in these readings for you are options, they're choices, they're potential paths, and you can jump onto one that you like that doesn't sound like it's for you yet. You can leave one that you want to deviate from, edit it, change it. I want all of my viewers to keep in mind that these are not determined outcomes, and you absolutely have choices regarding the things that we see coming. I see the path that you're on now, and that's so much the point of doing these things, so that you can edit it. See and take notice of signs and messages. Take notice of those little inexplicable coincidences and moments that keep repeating. And one of them right now is the fact that it's saying intuition. And I think that's what's happening. Someone else is not being honest with you. Things are not clear mentally. You are not able to sort everything out mentally. Oh my, this is just a new level of itchy during these messages. Sorry about that. It's incredibly distracting. But yes, intuition, and both of those cards are showing up upright. What's covering you is the High Priestess, and then the Seven of Fire showed up upright. And I read reversals in both of these decks. Some decks I don't most often. I have a couple of decks that usually I won't read reversals because that's not the way they were intended to be. But both of these decks I read reversed and upright, and they're showing upright. So I really feel like it's telling you, even though your material world may be confusing or not quite what you want it to be, and your mental world may be confused, you are able to rely on that intuition. If you're having intuition about someone or some situation in particular, yes, it is on point. This is your ticket. This is your key. You can rely on your intuition at this time. Now, not your paranoia, but your intuition, because those things are so, it can be so tricky to try to differentiate between. And I was listening to Kellyanne Maddox, a video of hers the other day, explaining how paranoia will be something that you're questioning. Paranoia will be something that you're unsure of. You will change colors back and forth. Is that my intuition? Is it not my intuition? I'm not sure. It's not your intuition. Your intuition will be sure. It will be clear, and it will be sure. And there's a way that you can sense that assuredness, even if your mental faculties aren't entirely clear, even if, like I said, someone's not being honest with you. So in the mental realm of things, it seems imbalanced, it seems insecure, but your intuition will be louder, although it's not screaming at you, it's not panicked, it's not changing colors back and forth. Like I said, it knows, and you can trust that now. And it says, trusting in the knowledge that is stored within your unconscious mind is key. Only you know what something means for you specifically. Actively develop your trust in your intuition at this time, Sagittarius. Look around you, observe, speak to the cards on a regular basis, and honor the truths revealed by going where your intuition leads you. So I hope that's not too open-ended. I do hope that this is offering you all something that you didn't have when you came to the reading. I feel like this month and next month, the end of the year really for you is about developing a very authentic part of you. And if you're developing a trust in and for your own intuition, that's absolutely why. You're just becoming more of yourself through learning to trust that sense of yours, Sagittarius, because, you know, overall we have your energy showing up sort of as an umbrella over the reading. So I will leave it at that. Again, I do hope you're taking something away from the reading that you didn't have when you came to it. And thank you so much for likes and shares and subscribes. I really, really appreciate it. I also appreciate your messages and your orders and your donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just so grateful for all of our energy exchanges here. What else did I want to mention to you? If you'd like a private reading, of course, just scroll down. I do offer those. Check out the description box below or my YouTube channel where you can find all that information. You can also just email me directly at lunartixtarot@gmail.com if you'd like to discuss prices and readings, that sort of thing. I am offering yearly overviews if you would like to go into 2019. I think that has to be an hour-long reading, though. So again, we can discuss that if you'd like to. And free readings. I've definitely been taking a break for a while now. I think most of my viewers have gotten that message. We'll be returning to those as soon as I can. I want to do some lives and answer questions that way, and then we'll see where I can expand to from there. Otherwise, I love you very much, Sagittarians, and I do hope that you will make very wise choices moving through the rest of the year and even into next year as well. But I will see you again before then, and thank you again. Take care.